and sit down. Sabbath peace. It's another opportunity for us to hear and learn of the word of truth that is given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and given freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues or a gift of prophecy or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they might live. You know what I mean? Where Marvin at?
Upstairs.
You gonna stay up here or you gonna go down there?
Down there.
Go ahead.
And I was going to ask if I could have candy.
Come here. Come here. You gonna ask me what now? You were going to ask me what?
If I could have candy.
You were going to, or are you asking?
I was going to.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to give you an answer if you would have. Where we leave off last week?
Mark 7:23.
This is Mark chapter 7, verse 23. Last week we was talking about, we started at the beginning of Mark 7, we was kind of looking at traditions versus what the book actually said. Just before we even started the camera, we was talking about traditions, right? How the Catholics are celebrating Lent. You know, and during that time period, they say, okay, well, I got to give up something. That's kind of what, I'm saying, I got to like give up, sweets or give up, I'm saying, just stupid stuff. Really. How you going to go on a diet and call it God? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to cut that stuff. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Well, they say they got to give up something. They got to do it for how long? I think 40 days. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got to give it up 40 days, hold on to it, and then it culminates or ends in Easter. You know what I'm saying? So they celebrate Easter, and then that's the end of it. To my knowledge, I could be getting it all wrong. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Some of them wild stuff. But you look at it, it's just a backwards version of what we do. Like, they count 40 days up to Easter, just like, our Passover, the Sabbath, the day after the Sabbath of the week of the unleavened bread, we count 7 weeks, 50 days, into the Feast of Weeks. So you can see these people, they take our days, and they try to make it as similar as possible, or they take days that already existed or celebrations that already existed, and then they try to fit it into something that we doing and make it similar. It's the same thing that they've always done to kind of water down what we do, right? Even us as Hebrews, they tried to convert us when we as Hebrews in Africa, right? We got taken out of Rome. They tried to convert us to Islam. And, and part of that was basically, like, look how similar it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how similar. It's like, well, we Hebrew. We looking at this like, no, that's not similar at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just took what we got and then added some weird stuff and then made it contradict. Like, that don't make no darn sense. How you gonna tell me Muhammad the one? He the last prophet. How the man gonna be the last prophet? That don't make no darn sense. The man already told us it's gonna be 2 prophets. Right? Like, we had that information. He told us at the end it's going to be 2 prophets. So how is he going to be the last one? He by himself? That don't make sense with the books. I mean, if you take that, you got to throw the New Testament out. Right? Then if you throw the New Testament out, then it's like, okay, now you call him the last prophet. That means he's that prophet. He's the prophet that Deuteronomy talked about. But that don't make no sense now either, because he didn't come from amongst the brethren. He said very clearly he from Mecca. Right? So it's like, we look at it, we look like, well, no, that's an Arab. That's not one of our people. So no matter how you look at it, now you got to throw the Old Testament out. So now you just got a book that contradicts. Right? They say, oh, no, we accept the New Testament, but you know what? He didn't really die on the cross. Most High God kind of replaced him or something weird. I forgot what I read in there. It was something weird, like the Most High God replaced him. You know what I'm saying? He is on the cross, but he replaced him before he died or something crazy. I'm looking like, what type of weird stuff these people into, and they want people to roll with it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why I said, like, Farrakhan yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Diddy kept on promoting Farrakhan. Like, yeah, Farrakhan speaking, and I guess Diddy, he broadcasted on his TV channel.
Who ever gets excited about Farrakhan?
That's nuts. Like, in 2020, that's crazy.
Like, the homies are like a cracking amount of a liar.
He's, like, super, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
He's not put together at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So we're looking like, you know what I'm saying? We look at and they broadcast, and I'm looking like, why in the world would I listen to this man? Because when he talking to Christians, you know what he trying to make you believe? I'm a Christian too.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not against Christianity. I'm a Christian too. And when he talking to Muslims, he'll tell you how bad Christianity is.
Yeah,
And honestly, I agree with him in both situations. You are a darn Christian, and Christianity is terrible. Right? I agree with you in both. It's not that I disagree with him. It's just that I don't know if he agreed with him. Like, that's the problem. Right? So we you know what I'm saying, we look at this stuff, we gotta take our time, man. We gotta teach people to take their darn time, because it's dangerous out here in these streets. It's dangerous out here in these streets. I don't even think we streaming. What's going on?
I know it was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook?
Yeah, I just shared it.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave it alone then. But
Yeah, we should be good. Yeah.
we good? Let's go to where we at? Mark chapter 7,
22.
verse 22.
20,
23 or 22?
we'll say 21.
This is Mark chapter 7, verse 20. All right, this is Mark chapter 7, verse 20. Oh, you want to get the good stuff again. All right. It's Mark chapter 7, verse 20. This is where we left off.
And he said, that which comes out of the man, that defiles the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
So this is where we get it. He said these are the evil thoughts that end up being sin. Right? He's trying to let us know here, if you ever were taught as a Christian or get led to believe as a Christian that everything you do is a sin, no matter what, you sin without even knowing it. You wake up in the morning, put your foot down on the floor, and you might have committed a sin. If you ever, that's the type of stuff they used to teach me in my old church.
Yeah, no,
Right? They didn't explicitly say it, but that's the impression that they gave. You know what I'm saying? They would say stuff, they explicitly said some of the stuff I said, but that gives you the impression, it's just like, it's impossible to stop sinning, because you wouldn't even know there's so many rules. There's so many rules that it's impossible to keep up with all of them. That's how they present it to you. So God was like, this is their view of God. I'm so stupid for making all of these rules. Therefore, don't follow any of them. All my Christians just do whatever you want. It's like, why would the man sit here spend all this time telling prophets to write in their mind that there's just so many rules, right? So this is in their mind. In their mind,
You read that thing, it's like it's
really not.
Yeah, no, really. You just gotta really read it.
It's really not. Like, you look at it like, no, it's pretty, you know what I'm saying, pretty basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the stuff we gonna do normally. You know what I'm saying? And there's some that's like a little strange to us because we so defiled, you know what I'm saying? We in this country and we, live in different ways. So there's some of them that's strange to us. But if you put the ones that's strange to us in a list, it's really not a lot of them. Y'all follow more rules on your diets.
Yeah.
That thing kills me, bro. It's like these people they diet. No, I have this many calories. No, it's a keto. I can't have this bread. I have to have this, that, another. But if I tell you I don't eat pork,
Ooh, you ain't lying, boy.
I think it blows my mind.
If you say you don't eat pork, it's fine. But when you say
No, that thing's not fine.
No. When you say God said it's defiled,
No.
that's when they got a problem.
No, that thing's not fine. If you say you don't eat pork, but you do eat beef, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you say I don't eat red meats, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you give them any inclination, like, hold on. Just pork? That's religious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's religious. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
because when you say God said it's defiled. If I said pork is unhealthy, you know what I'm saying, and it goes against my diet, they're cool with that.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's a good change in your life. That's really good.
as soon as I say God said it's defiled, then they got a problem. Because God said pork says.
They could be vegan. They eat some pork right in front of you just because you said God did it. Right? But this is the mindset of the people. Right? He trying to let you know, man, all this stuff is not a sin. All this stuff is not going to keep you from the kingdom. He said, now you're talking to the man. He's trying to you're talking to the man now.
Right.
So let me help you understand what I'm looking at. Right? These things are what come out of you, right? And these things gonna keep you out of the kingdom, right? If you was ever confused about what is a sin, what can keep you from the kingdom, what is the difference between the law and what Yahushua commanded, what if all those are your questions, focus on these things that he lists off right now. If you stop doing these things, you in a good place now. Right? Let's see.
For from within out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
Right? And if you have any confusion about what any of those words mean, go to tadayah.com, go to the website. We got a website about what is the sin, and it breaks down each and every one of them. And then I just want you to stop and ask yourself, which one of those are impossible for you to do? Right? Which one of those are you under the impression that no human being can stop doing? And you'll see that it's not true. Right? It's not true. It's just a lack of effort, maybe a lack of belief, right? You don't believe, you don't want to, you're not motivated to stop doing anything. It's a lot of stuff, but just tell the truth. I don't necessarily want to stop doing these things. I enjoy doing these things. You'd be better off telling the truth to yourself than lying to yourself, making you feel like you okay.
You don't get into the kingdom that way.
You're not getting into the kingdom like that. That thing's not happening. The man is not going to be a liar. See, keep going.
And from all these evil things come from within and defile the man.
Mm-hmm.
And from there he arose and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon and entered into a house and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid.
Right? So he entered into a house and he was like, everybody, you know what I'm saying, be quiet. He said he didn't want nobody to know it. But he was like, man, they couldn't be hid. Why?
Everybody's following.
Let's see.
For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet.
Right? So she heard the man, and everybody running their darn mouth. So she ran and she fell at the man's feet. Let's hear about this woman.
And the woman was a Greek.
She was a what?
A Greek.
Oh, what is a Greek doing falling at the Hebrew, the Jew feet? Right? That man from Yehuda. You know what you falling at his feet for? That's crazy. Let's hear about it.
A Syro-Phoenician by nation.
Gentile.
And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of his daughter, out of her daughter. But Yahushua said to her, let the children first be filled, for it is not good to take the children's bread and cast it unto the dogs.
What is he talking about? He said, she came in and was like, look, heal my daughter. His response to her, right? She walked up to him, crying, fell at his feet, right? And said, listen, my daughter is sick. I need her to be healed. They ain't working when we take her to the doctor, to the physician. They ain't helping, you know what I'm saying? But I know you, I believe you could do it. I've heard that you've done amazing things. I believe that you can do it. She's a Gentile woman, right? Book called her Greek. You know what I'm saying? So the man looking at her, Yahushua, he looked at her and he said, what to her now?
Let the children first be filled, for it is not good to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs.
The man looked at the woman and said, she's asking for him to heal. Who is he healing right now?
These people.
It's our people.
Right.
So the man looked at her and was like, well, let the children first be filled. I mess around and give it to you. It don't make sense for me to feed the dog before I feed the kids. I'm going to walk downstairs and I'm going to start feeding Cora. My boys is hungry? That don't make no sense. He's trying to let her, like, let me give you the parable to make this make sense for you. These my kids. You know what I'm saying? You a dog. In this scenario, these my kids and you a darn dog. I'll get around to you. I got to feed the kids first, though. Right? Let's see what her response is.
And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs.
You see, when we just start eating, first thing I did is I put Cora inside the thing. Cause I know if we eating, the first thing she's gonna do, she's gonna be on everybody's seat, looking for any crumb that she can, and she's gonna be sniffing the floor and eating stuff off of the floor the whole time. Going underneath people's feet, rubbing their feet and touching them and everything, gonna make everybody uncomfortable, like, oh, move, Cora, this, that, and that. She gonna be sitting there, tongue out, waiting for you to drop something to her, because some of the kids, they be trying to throw stuff to her, right? That's how I go. So y'all sure trying to explain, we know how the dogs are. You gotta stand in line, you gotta wait. Then she came back and the woman was like, well, even the dogs eat the crumbs. She said, listen, you ain't even gotta give me the whole portion. Just let something break off to me. Let something fall off the table for me. So she put herself in the parable. You understand? Like, the man just, first of all, let's just step back. The man just called the woman a dog. That's the first thing. The man just called the woman a dog. Her response wasn't, you dirty Hebrew. Remember, she's a Gentile. She's a Greek. She's of the Romans. Her privilege higher than ours. It's not much different than what we have right now. So that would be equivalent to a black pastor, right? A black, you know what I'm saying, spiritual leader of some sort, right? Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people looking at this man like, man, that's really God's man. Right? He in the hood, walking around, helping people out, doing miracles, blessing people, you know what I'm saying, do what he can. A Gentile come. She happened to be in the area. White lady. And she go to the man and she say, you know what? Matter of fact, yeah, you know what I'm saying? She go to the man and she say, you know what? I need some help too. And the man said, no, you like a dog. These my kids, but you like a dog. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wait. How is that? Where's the response? What's gonna happen today? If that happens today, what happens? What happens in response to that? Because somebody caught it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Can you believe the pastor that everyone thinks is the actual Messiah? He said this, that, and the other. Here it is, live live at 8 o'clock on the news. He's racist. Right? Man would have been called racist. The woman would have been offended. Woman would have been like, he tried to rape me. You know what I'm saying? Police would have been called. That thing would have been a done deal. But not so. With Yahushua, the woman just put herself in the. She said, all right, let's go with that theory. Like, let's follow that along. Let's go ahead and follow that theory along. Even the dog get a little crumb. You tell me I ain't good enough for a crumb? Watch what Yahushua said.
And he said,
I'll tell you, I can count how many times I didn't cry. I remember them all vividly. You know what I'm saying? Since I was like 12. I read this. It wasn't the first time I read it, but when I read it and understood what was happening, like when I read it, when I started to read the gospel and try to like put myself in those scenarios, and I read it from that point of view, oh, I broke down crying with this thing. I said, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Because I just thought about the part that hurt me was like, oh, that wouldn't fly. Like, we would have killed this man. We would have killed him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, this is what changed my whole perspective about the gospel. It's like, oh, I get it. We would have killed him too. Like, we're no different. It ain't like the average of people, when I say we, I just mean the average of people. Average of people would have killed this man. Talking like he talking. This is not politically correct. Right? This thing ain't gonna fly. The man just called a woman a dog. A woman, a white woman, not literally white, you know what I'm saying? She was probably black, you know what I'm saying? But he called a woman a dog. All right, let's see what Yahushua said after she put herself. She said, even a dog gotta get crumbs, you know what I'm saying? Bring me out a little beef, you know what I'm saying? What you talking about? Let me get a swine, you know what I'm saying? Let me see.
and he said unto her, for this saying, but he answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. And he said unto her, for this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of your daughter.
That's it. He said, because of what you just said, that's it. The man ain't even waste no time. She said that, he's like, because you said that, devil going out of your daughter. He ain't go. He just kept walking till you could just imagine. He's like, because you said that, devil going from your daughter. You good. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? And kept moving. Watch it.
And when she was come to her house, she found the devil gone out and her daughter laid upon the bed.
That got that. And the man, you know he good for her. Once he said it, you know he good for her. She just ran. She didn't question him. She didn't have no proof. She just ran back to her daughter. Everything was good too. Watch it. Keep going.
And again, departing from the coast of Tyre and Sidon, he came unto the Sea of Galilee through the midst of the coast of Decapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring unto him one that was deaf and had an impediment in his speech.
Mm-hmm.
And they beseeched him to put his hand upon him.
Right.
And he took him aside from the multitude and put his fingers into his ears. And he spit and touched his tongue.
Watch what he said.
And looking up to heaven, he sighed and said unto him, Ephatha, that is, be opened.
All right. So he spoke to the man in Hebrew. Right? These people try to say, well, actually at the time they didn't speak Hebrew. They speak what's called Aramaic. These people, I'm like, man, y'all some smart dummies. Y'all the smartest darn dummies I have seen in my life. I can't trust these people, man. They say some of the stupidest smart stuff. I be looking like, man, y'all do all this studying, get all these degrees, and then y'all miss the obvious stuff. That thing just, and it's like, I just don't know if it's on purpose or if y'all just that stupid. I don't know. Let's see. Keep going.
And straightway his ears were open, and the string of his tongue was loosed, and he spake plain.
Mm-hmm.
And he charged them that they should tell no man. But the more he charged them, so much the more a great deal they published it. And were beyond measure astonished, saying, He has done all things well. He makes both the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Next chapter.
Yep.
In those days, the multitude...
It's chapter 8, so this is Mark chapter 8, verse 1.
In those days, the multitude being very great and having nothing to eat, Yahushua called his disciples unto him and said unto them, I have compassion on the multitudes, because they have now been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat.
Right? So just a little while ago, he did the same thing. We read about it, right? He fed them with five loaves and 2 fish. So he's sitting there like, man, it's a great multitude again. A whole bunch of Christians again. And I feel bad. He said, I got compassion on them because they ain't ate nothing. We just been out here walking, they ain't ate nothing. So let's hear about it.
And if I send them away fasting to their own houses, they will faint by the way, for divers of them came from far. And his disciples answered him, From where can a man satisfy these men with bread here in the wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
And he asked them, How many loaves do you have? And they said, 7.
All right, so they said they had 7 loaves. Remember last time they had 5 loaves. I think it was 5 loaves and 2 fish. Right? Well, that's still 7, right? So in both situations, it equals, you know what the Christian say right here. They hear you know. The Christian gonna tell you, well, 7 is the number of completion. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna hit you with that. 7 is the number of completion. That's why it had to be 7. That's where the Most High, when 7 is there, the Most High God worked. How they know that? Where'd that come from? How they know? 7 completion.
Genesis.
Genesis, that's right. Right? Because he completed the world in 7 days and he said it was done. So now anytime they see 7, it's like, oh, 2017, the year of completion. So was 2007, by the way.
In 1997.
In 1997.
1987.
It's like every 10 years we complete, huh? Then back to the cycle. Is that how it go? I don't know, man. They people make a fool out of themselves, though. But we look at it and we say, well, first of all, let's address that, right? The numerology thing. That stuff is wickedness too, right? It's no different from astrology. Matter of fact, in the deepest ways, it's related. But what they've tried to do is they say, well, because we getting the meaning of the numbers, we're not getting the meaning of the numbers from the skies like the astrologers do. Because numerology, the real numerology, it's the same as astrology. It all fits in together. It's dealing with numbers and all this stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? They're like, you know what I'm saying? We not getting it from astrology. We getting it from God. We getting it from the Bible. So they take an event in the Bible and they see a number is tied to that event, like Genesis, right? Genesis chapter 2 says, and on the 7th day he rested and he looked and all of it and it was good, so it was complete, right? So they say, see, God completed the earth in 7 days. Therefore now, 7 represents completion. So then they try to see that and anytime the 7 is, in the Bible. Now it's not really any time, but they look at and they cherry pick the ones that they can kind of, see into it completion. Now here's where they go strangely wrong. That's already wrong, but here's where they really go wrong. Then they take 7s in their own life, right? And then they make a meaning out of that. They say, well, look, this means completion. This is going to be my year of completion. Oh, look, I had 7 kids. Now I'm complete. This, that, and other. So they start taking that and they put that meaning on them, right? Meanwhile, none of this came from God, right? But they want to say it did because they interpreted it from Genesis. Now, then they get even more because you look at it, you say, well, hold on. Look at the Gregorian calendar that we use. They ain't got nothing to do with God. But since it has a 7 on it, they interpret this meaning from it. And they believe and they start to put faith in this meaning of 7 that has nothing to do with God. God didn't come up with this calendar. He didn't put together a sequence. If you look at God's years by the Hebrew calendar compared to these people's years, totally different years. So that means that it don't even need to come from God for it to have a meaning. So 7 is the real, 7 has the power. It ain't God that has the power. 7 has the power. Okay, so that means technically I can write a 7 on something. If I just want something to be complete, I just write 7 on it. Right? So now what does that become? That's a spell. Right? If I'm sitting here and I write 7 or I make 7 or I put 7 candles up in my house, now these are spells. This is witchcraft at this point. And this is what people don't understand. They thinking that, you know what I'm saying, well, no, because it originated. No, you took a meaning out of the Bible and applied it to a number just because you saw that they was in the same verse. Right? And then you took that number and you started using or seeing that number in your own life and then putting faith in that number because of it. It had nothing to do with God. You already separated it from God. But people got to take that stuff as far as they can. Grab Deuteronomy chapter 18 for me. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. At some point, somebody got to tell the people the truth. Because people just running around, they don't know that anything is wrong. A lot of them don't know. This numerology stuff, a lot of people don't know stuff is wrong. A lot of people don't know it's wrong to be in a denomination. Nobody's teaching them this stuff. They sitting here and they like, well, I'm a Baptist, but that's no different. I mean, you a disciple, I'm a Baptist, that's no different. Well, there's a little difference. Little difference. You know what I'm saying? Brother asked me, he's like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you know what I'm saying? So what denomination you? I was like, no, I don't have a denomination. He's like, so what are you? I was like, a disciple. You know what I'm saying? Just said it like he should know. You know what I'm saying? Disciple. He's like, oh, yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, good. You know then, huh? He's like, yeah, I think so, yeah. I was like, go ahead and ask me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, no, tell me how'd you come to it? This, that, and that. I was like, you can just ask me flat out, what's a disciple? He's like, yeah, I mean, what do y'all believe? This, that, and that. I was like, we believe the book, and I know that just sound vague because everybody say that, but let me show you something. So I took him, you know what I'm saying, to John. And you know what I'm saying? If you continue in, Yahushua would say, if you continue in my word, then you can be my disciple. I was like, that's what we believe. You know what I'm saying? We believe that the Most High God, through his son, called us something. We believe that the prophecy in Isaiah chapter 16, you know what I'm saying? I mean, chapter 8, calls us something. You know what I'm saying? And we believe that we should attach ourselves to what the book calls us rather than what someone else called us. I was like, other people called us Christians. Other people called us Baptists. Other people called us, you know what I'm saying, Pentecostals and Protestants and all these other things. Other people called us stuff. All right? That's how they defined it, and that's fine for them. But for us, we want to be called disciple. Now, you can call me whatever you want, right? You might, when I get up and walk away, you might just say, yeah, I talked to a Christian this morning, right? That ain't none of my business. I'm just telling you, when I call myself something, guess what I'm going to call? What God called me, right? He's like, interesting. And that's when I made that post, you know what I'm saying, when I was talking about the disciples after that, right? Because you have to be able to say, these people do not know. They don't realize, oh, no, it's not just bad. It's not just bad taste. You are sinning if you are a Baptist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, this is a very serious thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're a 7-day Adventist, that is a sin. You know what I'm saying? That's not, grab hold we got there. We're going to come right back here to Deuteronomy 18. Grab, what do I want? Galatians? Grab Galatians chapter 5. This is Galatians chapter 5. I probably want verse 22 or something.
I think it started about 20.
19.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies.
Heresies. Matter of fact, you know that is the Greek word. They didn't even translate this one. They just wrote it out just how it was. Heresies is the actual Greek word. What does that Greek word mean? Like, if you go to people and you say, you know what I'm saying, like, you might see like an old English show or something. They're like, heresy. right? And they yell it out.
Yeah.
And what we immediately think of when people say heresy is like, oh, that's false teaching, right? That's somebody who's teaching something wrong. It's like a lie. Heresy is like a lie. That's kind of how we look at it. And that's what I always thought heresy meant. When you say heresy, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody lying on God or somebody teaching something false or, you know what I'm saying, some false teaching. And that's a related idea to what an actual heresy is, but a heresy is a sect. It's a faction. It's a group. It's a denomination. Right? If you look up the word, matter of fact, if you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Give me verse 17. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 17.
If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? Wait, sorry, it's 12. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not, that you come together not for the better, but for the worse.
Mm-hmm.
For first of all, when you come together in the congregation, I hear that there be divisions among you, and I partly believe it.
All right, he said, I hear there be divisions among you, and I partly believe it. Right? Let's hear about it. Watch this.
For there must be also heresies among you.
He said, there must also be heresies among. So if we think heresies is false teaching or a lie, there must also be lies among you. Right? Keep going.
That they which are approved may be made manifest among you.
Mm-hmm.
When you come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper.
Mm-hmm.
For in eating, everyone takes before other his own supper.
Right, so
he's
he's
hungry and another is drunken.
Right, so he's explaining groups of people. Right, when we see heresy there, he's saying, look, there must also be heresy. Really, he's saying there must also be factions. There must also be groups of people. He's saying one group is taking it before the other one. He said, y'all not coming together to eat. Y'all be as one. Y'all come together for division. Right, as homework for anybody who wants to, you look up the word heresies for yourself. And just see how it's translated in the book. Don't look it up in Webster. Don't look it up. Just see in the Bible how is heresies translated, and every time it's translated in the book. Sometimes it's going to be directly translated as heresies. Sometimes, though, you're going to see it's translated as, in the New Testament or in the Gospels, as sect. Right? They called the Pharisees a heresy because that was a group. The Sadducees is called a heresy because that was a group. Right? They're factions. That's what the actual word means. If you look up the actual word, the Greek word, it actually means a faction or a group or a sect of people. Right? Now, of course, to have that sect, yes, you will need to have some type of teaching that separates yourself from the other sect. So, yes, there is false teaching involved. But it's actually, a lot of Christians believe that, well, technically we believe all the same things. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. Let's say you do believe the exact same things as this denomination and this denomination. Both of y'all going to hell because you're separating yourself. Why? If you believe the same thing, why would you separate yourself? And if you were going to separate yourself, because most like God called us to separate ourselves, why would you separate yourself from what God called you to be? Right? That's the problem. Right? Definitely want to separate yourself. But why separate yourself and say, God called me to be a disciple, but I'm going to call myself a Baptist Christian? That don't make sense to me. Just don't make sense. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 18. This is verse 10.
There shall not be found among you anyone that makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or that use divination, or an observer of times.
Right? That's what this is. You talking about numerology? That's divination. Right? You an observer of time. What else?
Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination to the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God drove them out from before thee. Right?
Those are the things that the people got drove out for. And look, we come over here and this is what we pick up and we do it in God's name now. Tell it dangerous stuff these people play with. Right? I got family members into that stuff. They do it in the Bible. Yeah, the number of this. I tell them every time, you better leave that stuff alone. You think it's innocent. You think it's innocent. You don't have nowhere in the book the Most High God told you to do it. You don't have no example of anybody doing it in the book. It's just no reason to take that risk. It's no reason. There's no reason to take that risk. Let's say 7 is the number of completion. And every time it's a year with a 7 in it, it's something about completion and something good gonna happen. Let's just say that's the case. You don't need to call it out. You don't need to put no trust in it. It's just gonna happen just because that's how it is, right? Is you better off ignoring it and letting whatever the Most High God want to do it, as opposed to sitting here trying to call it out and putting your faith in that stuff. It's nowhere in the book. It's just too much of a risk. I don't want to risk. Why am I risk playing with God?
He said no traps anyway.
That's crazy. We know the man is trying to trap us, and we gonna sit here and take unnecessary risks? Don't make no sense. There's no benefit for it. Same benefit. If it is true, let's just look at it both ways. Let's say Christians are right with numerology. 7 is year completion. 10 is year of, whatever. All these different things. All these number 3 is like, whatever it is. All these powerful numbers that they got in the book that they come up with somehow. Let's say everything they say is right. Do it stop if you don't believe it? Like if you don't acknowledge it, don't pay attention to it, don't talk about it at all, do it stop it? Is it powerless at that point? Because if that's the case, then you have no benefit. It's gonna be the same outcome whether you sitting here promoting it or not. But on the other hand, if it's fake now and you promoting it, your butt going to hell. Everything got to be risk and reward. If they right, you get the same reward either way. But the book right, yeah, your reward gonna be difficult. Let's go back. This is Mark chapter 8. I don't know what verse we left off on. Try to shoot through this real quick. It's Mark chapter 8, verse 5. Let's see what the book say. So he had 7 loaves.
And he asked them and said, how many loaves do you have? And they said 7. And he commanded the people to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks and brake and gave to his disciples to set before them. And they did set them before the people.
Okay.
And they had a few small fishes. And he blessed and commanded to set them also before them.
Okay.
So they did eat and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets.
Mm-hmm.
And they that had eaten were about 4,000, and he sent them away. And straightway he entered into a ship with his disciples and came into the parts of Dalmanutha.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pharisees came forth and began to question with him, seeking him a sign from heaven, tempting him.
Right, so they're coming, and they're looking like, all right, I hear you doing all these miracles, show us something. Right, everybody trying to just see it. So the Pharisees, they got authority. They not, like, the Pharisees, they ain't like these, like, poor people that run around just chasing them. Right, so when the people that, everybody trying to see something, right? So the poor people that running around chasing them, they ain't got no authority. They ain't never seen nothing crazy and they like that in their life. So they just like, let's just follow them from town to town and let's just see what happens. Then there's some people that really like is hurting during that time. They like, man, listen, if this papa, if this man can heal my daughter, I'm just gonna run up on him. Right? Then you got other people that really ain't got nothing really going on that they need, but they just want to follow the man and see it. Because it's like, man, this is crazy what's happening right now. So the Pharisees, you can imagine, the Pharisees, just think about politics, they above the rest of the people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like a distinguished, you know what I'm saying? I studied for this. So it's just the same thing we have in our politics. And, you got poor people running around after people. Then you got the politicians. They're going to approach it way different. So when they approach it, they like, so, you say you the one, huh? Or people saying you the one. Go ahead and show us something. Show us a sign. Because what they trying to do, all right, if you show it to us, let's make sure it line up with our book. They trying to study it and make sure it's right. So let's hear about it.
And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, why does this generation seek after a sign?
Mm-hmm.
Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation.
Mm-hmm.
And he left him, and entering into the ship again, departed to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than 1 loaf.
Mm-hmm.
And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.
Right? So in their mind, they ain't had no bread. Right? So when he said, he just got done talking to the Pharisees, he said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and what else?
And the Leaven of Herod.
In the leaven of Herod, right? So you try to remember Herod before, he's the one who, he part of the family that killed John the Baptist. You know what I'm saying? You remember he had his little girlfriend come up to him, that was his brother's girlfriend, or his brother's wife, and he tried to take her to wife, and then, you know what I'm saying, she was like, I want John the Baptist's head on a charger. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things we learned with one of these things, you know what I'm saying, when you hold it up. She's like, I want his head on the charger. I like to imagine that they had a little thing on top of it, you know what I'm saying? You know, like the Adam family, you know what I'm saying, to put that thing down. So, you know what I'm saying, she said, I want his head on the charger. So that's that family, right? So he's saying, beware of the leaven. Now they thinking bread. They just fed all these people and they forgot the bread. So they thinking bread. So he's like, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. Now let's watch it out.
And they reasoned among themselves, saying, Is it because we have no bread? And when Yahshua knew it, he said unto them, Why reason ye, because you have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand. Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes ye see ye not, and having ears hear ye not, and do you not remember?
Right? He's sitting there, is y'all stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all ain't paying attention? Don't you realize we just fed all these people? You think I'm talking to you about actual bread right now? Right, let's see, keep going.
When I break the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took you up? They say unto him, 12. And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments did you take up? And they said, 7.
Right? So he said, each time, you see what I can do with some bread. You know what I'm talking about? You think I'm running my mouth here about bread? Understand that anytime that the man is talking is logical. It's like these people try to make you believe that God is just like this ununderstandable, you know what I'm saying, giving you mystic confusion and all that. Anytime the man open up his mouth, we may not get it, right? I'm not saying that we don't get it, but the man is logical. Whenever we do get it, that thing is logic. The man just sit here and look at you like, why would I be talking about bread? Like, you know I speak in parables. Yeah. Why would I be actually talking about bread right now? Do you not remember that when I broke down 5 little pieces of bread, we fed 5,000 people and y'all brought back 12 baskets of leftovers? And do you understand that? Just now, you know what I'm saying? I took 7 pieces of bread and we fed 4,000 people and y'all brought back 7 baskets of leftovers? He said, what is wrong with y'all? Right, keep going. That's logic. You know what I'm saying? The man makes sense.
And he said unto them, How is it that you do not understand? And he comes to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him.
So when he talking about, just so I thought he was going to say it right there, it must be in another place where he explained it. What he was talking about when he said the leaven of the Pharisees and Herod, he's talking about their traditions. Right? He's just telling you, listen, beware of these people traditions. Same thing with Christians. You got to beware of these people. Same thing with Muslims. You got to beware of these people traditions. They have your butt doing something that you ain't got no business doing. Right? When you look at bread, right? You add a bread, and what leaven does to that bread is it fills it up and causes it to rise. Right? So it kind of gives it a little extra. Right? The Most High God is saying, no. If you just get this flat bread, that's all you need. But some people come in and they put extra in it. And if you got like a little cracker next to it, just a big old loaf of bread, which one? Let's just say not even a little cracker. I got a long cracker. And then right next to it, I got this swelled up loaf of bread. Which one you taking?
The loaf of bread.
Oh, I'm taking a loaf. You know what I'm talking about? Put my little knife through it, you know what I'm saying? Cut me a little swine, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want no Peter.
You know what I'm saying? Rub me a little butter on the end of that thing, slap it in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do. So that's what he's looking at. He's like, these people make this doctrine a lot more attractive when they put their mess in it. Yeah. And it rise. And people take it. He said, beware of that leaven. Just take the plain flat. You know what I'm saying? The plain flat. That's how I'm giving it to people, flat. They gonna give it to you fluffy. Right? Let's see, keep going.
And he comes to Bethsaida, and they bring him a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes.
I mean, I can see it a little bit. It's still a little blurry. That's what he's trying to say. He's like, man, I see men. Them boys look like trees is walking though. Because it was blurry to him. You know what I'm saying? He still couldn't really put it all together yet. Y'all sure like, all right, hold on. I must not, you know what I mean? Must not put a little bit of that on it. You know, so let's see.
After that, he put his hands upon his eyes and made him look up, and his eyes restored and saw every man clearly.
Uh-huh.
And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahshua went out and his disciples into the towns of Caesarea Philippi, and by the way he asked his disciples, saying unto them, whom do men say that I am?
That's right.
And they answered, John the Baptist, but some say Elijah, and others one of the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, but whom do you say that I am?
Uh-huh.
And Peter answered and said unto him, you are the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And he charged them that they should tell no man of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, to be rejected of the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again.
Uh-huh.
And he spake that saying openly, and Peter took him and began to rebuke him.
Right? So Peter jumped in front of him after he said, because he's trying to teach him, he's trying to let him know, okay, y'all know I'm the Messiah. That's we half of the way there. Y'all know I'm the fly. Okay, let me break this down for y'all. The elders gotta reject me. Right? He's trying to let them know this is what's about to happen, y'all. Elders gotta try to prepare him for it. Elders gotta reject. They gotta reject me. It's gonna go down. They gonna kill the man. They gonna kill me. I'm gonna come back in 3 days. Right? So Peter listening to this stuff, he's looking like, no, we just got you. You know what I'm saying? You can understand where Peter coming from. Faithful Peter. You know what I'm saying? No, we just got you. That don't make no, don't be speaking all negatively. These people can't do nothing. You've never done nothing wrong. No, are these people even trying to do something like this? All these miracles you do, these people ain't gonna do. So he jumped up because he's looking like you being too negative right now. He jumped up in front of him. He said, I rebuke that. I rebuke that. He told him, like, no. That's not. So he tried to correct Yahushua on Yahushua's prophecy. Watch this.
But when he had turned about and looked on his disciples, he rebuked Peter, saying, get thee behind me, Satan.
He called the man what?
Satan. For you savors not the things that be of God, but the things that be of men.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples, also he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
Right? So you have to understand like what we're dealing with. Yahushua, he can talk to Satan. Right? It makes sense when he talking to Satan. Because he is in authority. When we need Satan to do something, guess who we got to talk to? The man in authority so that he can talk to Satan. Satan ain't under our authority. Like not one bit. You know what I'm saying? Man ain't got to do nothing that we say. We can talk to Satan all day long. Satan got marching orders. So he's looking at him, he's looking like, Peter, you don't even know what you're doing right now. But we have to take it and we have to look at it. What really just happened? What was Peter thinking? Did Peter think he was Satan at that moment?
No.
Did he think Satan took control of him at that moment? Of course not. Peter thought he was doing something good. Peter thought he was correcting Yahushua about being negative and about talking about how he's going to die. Like, don't speak that stuff into existence. What you doing? Right? But in actuality, Satan was speaking through Peter. And Yahushua addressed that. When you take that as a reality, it's somebody standing next to Yahushua. Somebody who just came out was like, nah, man, you the son of God. In another place, it'll tell you, he's like, nah, you the son of the living God. Right? This the one. And the man just in the other place, same scenario, but described by another writer. Right? He told him, my Father revealed that to you. Then right after that, Satan speaks to the same person. That's a reality that we have to capture and we have to understand. A lot of people don't feel like we wrong about certain stuff. Don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? This stuff be wrong. This stuff, even if it's not a sin. What Peter did wasn't a sin just now. That's not the point. It's a seed. Right? It was something used to try to discourage Yahushua. If Yahushua would have took back and denied the prophecy that the Most High God gave him, that would have been a sin. That's why the man tells us in Matthew 18, whoa, he said it is impossible that offenses not come. But woe to the man who let it come through. Because it's gonna come. And he knows it. He recognizes it, take it head on. Man, like, no, I know what God told me. So if you speaking against that, if you rebuking what God told me, that's the devil. Period. I ain't about to sit here and play around with it. I got authority over him. So I'm going to talk to him. I rebuke. Satan, get mine. What you talking about? Boy, you're relieved of your mission. You know what I'm talking about? Move. Get on. Stop that thing right in its tracks. Because that's the man with authority. But it's important for us to look at it and kind of realize that, like, even stuff that technically are not sins, Satan is still working because he's just planting a seed that, although it's not a sin now, somebody's going to react to this and somebody's going to end up sinning. That's what we have to protect ourselves against. We don't want, it's stuff that we say to each other, stuff that is that and another, it's going to trigger somebody else to do something else. And we think, well, technically I ain't do nothing wrong. But technically you didn't. But now it caused your brother to stumble. And that's where the sin comes in at. Right? Because now he's sinning because of something that you did that technically wasn't a sin, and you think you got away with something. Like, no, that's law too. Right? You could have prevented your brother from stumbling, and you didn't. Let's see, keep going.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Mm-hmm.
Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels.
Man, that's a song that I don't know how to pronounce his name, Toby Ingwa. You know what I'm saying? The Wingwa or something like that.
Wigwee or something like that.
Wigwee, you know what I'm saying? But I like him, you know what I'm saying? He's a rapper, you know what I'm saying, or a musician, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But he came out with a new song.
Never heard of it.
He said, what did he say? He sang the song, "May your streets be paved with gold." That thing touch your boy. Boy, I was listening to that thing.
It's cold though.
That thing cold. Boy, he said
that rap like 150,000?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. But he's singing on this song, you know what I'm saying? And that boy was like, you know what I'm saying? He said something about, you know what I'm saying, your nappy head with your nappy headed Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know he know. You know what I'm saying? He kind of slide, he trying to slide it by everybody. But he know, but he's speaking about right now, like, man, these people don't respect, but don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, our stuff gonna come in the end. And that's how, like, we can't be ashamed. We cannot be ashamed of Yahushua. We can be ashamed of they Yahushua, the white one. You know what I'm saying? But we can't be ashamed of our Yahushua. That's our salvation. That's crazy. We can't be ashamed of who we are and what the man then put us through. We hereby punishment. We can be ashamed of what our fathers did and what we did to have us here. We can't be ashamed of the fact that we're here because of who we are, though. These people should be ashamed. They enslaved us. I just got done, Paul. I'm telling people, don't try and make people be ashamed of celebrating the 4th of July. Not our people. They should be ashamed for celebrating the day. For telling us, you know what I'm saying, telling these people, give us, what is it? Give me liberty or give me death. What is it? Give me liberty or give me death. And then they turn around and they own slaves. I was reading, man, Thomas Jefferson. Oh, goodness gracious. I was reading Thomas Jefferson had like a 12-year-old slave woman. Shot the woman up a bunch of times. Got her pregnant. Had a bunch of kids by her. And made his darn kids slaves. His mulatto kids that he had with the woman, he made them darn slaves. Now I said to myself, well, that's lawful. You know what I'm talking about? That thing is lawful. You know what I'm saying? He said, the book said very clearly, the heir and the child, I mean the heir and the servant differ if not. You know what I'm saying? But this is brutal. Right? He raped the little girl. And they try to paint this thing like he was in love with her and all that. It's like, y'all do realize this woman didn't have a choice. All this stuff y'all yelling today. And y'all do realize she was a slave. And she's 12. Or however old she was. She might be, a little older, maybe like 13 or 14, but she wasn't 16. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't 18. She was a kid. And the man just getting her pregnant. I was like, these are some sick people that they celebrate. Like, to me, if we gonna take, like, I don't care about y'all statues. Take all the statues down. Take them all down. They all idolatry as far as I'm concerned. Martin Luther King too. Take them all down, right? But if from y'all, let's take it away from the spiritual perspective. If y'all gonna, just logically, if y'all gonna take away some statues, I need all around Mount Rushmore. I mean the whole thing, just take it all down. All of them is darn nasty. I don't need to be ashamed about this day. I might go throw something on the grill right now, like some fireworks. I fought in the war. My ancestors fought in that war. Larry, you out of your darn mind? We fought for the independence.
Yeah, they got independence because of us. They had all the money in the world to fund their war.
Are you nuts?
From free labor.
Why do you think they wanted independence? Because they were paying their taxes that they hard-earned slaves helped them, you know what I'm saying, accumulate. And they were paying their taxes to these people. And they said no taxation without representation. That's what they told them. They're like, man, we ain't even out there. Y'all ain't even got nobody representing us. They said, no, we gotta shut that off. We can't keep giving y'all, you know what I'm saying? If we stop giving y'all this money, we could be over here balling all these slaves working for us. Snip, snip. And we fought in that war and helped them win. What you mean? I got every right to celebrate this darn day.
I'm American. What you mean?
I'm an American. I'm the most American thing in America.
Yeah,
Do you understand that?
The whole legacy of the country was slave labor.
Like, I don't care that these people are celebrating independence from England. Right? I don't care about that part. Independence from England created America. And that's me. This whole country is me. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. Like, I don't care if you want to look at it in a negative way. In a negative way, this whole country is me. Because y'all with me on the back and I built it. And y'all never paid me what I would deserve. So y'all owe me this country. Right? And let's look at it in a positive way. Right? In a positive way, this is my country because every time that somebody has to stand up, it happens to be my group of people that leads this country. Right? First person to die in the Revolutionary War was a Hebrew man. Like, people don't understand that. Like, we the first people to go. We died fighting in it. The Civil War, we fought in it. And what was that about? They don't want to admit it. That was about us. That was about freeing us. Every immigrant or marginalized group in this country fights off of the back of our civil rights struggle.
Yeah.
Like, morally, you know what I'm saying, in terms of war, in every way, we lead, culturally, we lead this country. Now, we don't lead this country in anything that'll get us anything of value, right? Because they oppress us. But we push these people to do the right thing. Why is Martin Luther King out there talking about you need to stop the Vietnam War? Why is Ali, what Vietnam got to do with Ali and he telling them he don't agree with the Vietnam War? That ain't got nothing to do with us. But we step up and be like, no, this stuff is wrong. These people done beat us, slept with our darn women, raped our darn children, and we stand in their face and we forget them every darn day. They shoot us on national television every darn week, and we forget them every darn day. We still got people saying, well, you know, it's a tough job being a cop.
Yeah,
This is my darn country. This is my darn holiday. I celebrate what I darn want to. Don't talk to us about what we can celebrate and what we can't. I'm celebrating Juneteenth, and I'm doubling up. They both mine. What's wrong with these people? Let's keep going. We just can't be ashamed. We gotta stop. We have to stop making ourselves ashamed for something we ain't got no business being ashamed for. They should be ashamed. They the ones that enslaved. They the ones that darn wrong. We the ones that persevered through the whole thing. And we still alive today. Thank the Most High God. And may our streets be paved with gold. Boy, that thing touched me. I be listening to that thing like, that's a song there. Only thing I don't like about it, he said Christ. You know, that's all right. I can deal with it. I'm just saying, the man would have said the Messiah. Nappy had the Messiah to be like, woo! You know what I'm talking about? When them old ladies in church, you know what I'm saying? That thing, I said, okay. I like that song. That boy said, may your streets be paved with gold.
Say that.
Woo! That boy hit that thing.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, all right. Let's keep going.
Chapter 9.
That's chapter 9. We can stop.
Okay.
We'll pick up chapter 9 next week. All right, so we look at it and we'll see, we'll kind of see that, you know, Yahushua continues to do these miracles, which is almost like think of it, I like to look at it like politics, because that's the best way for us to kind of look at what's going on today and kind of relate it to something. Think of what he's doing. It's like a campaign, right? He like, it's like him running for office and he going through, but he's starting at the bottom. He ain't doing like the other politicians. Other politicians, they start at the top. They like, okay, let me find the big companies that donate money to me, this, that, and the other. That's not what he's doing. He started at the bottom. So he got all the poor people on the side, and they ain't got a lot of money, but they got a whole lot of voice, right? So then you got other people that's influenced by some of the more powerful people, and they looking like, man, I don't know. What do y'all think of them? So you got the Pharisees like, man, well, we're not too sure about this guy. Sadducees, we not too sure about them. Herod, I don't know, he might be something, but we're not too sure about this guy. All the poor people, that's the Messiah, right? So his campaign is going in one direction. You got other people looking like, well, I got to trip him up. So they get him in front of everybody and they try to debate him and they question him and like, okay, show me a sign and do this, right? And that's where they are. So it's not even half and half. Probably the majority don't believe who he is, because it's not like he have flyers or text messages or internet. You know, he's just going to towns in person and people are following him, right? So the majority of people haven't even had any interaction with the man. Some of them just hear about him like, what? Somebody doing mirror? They ain't never seen the mirror. They're like, y'all crazy. Then they see all these people following when they finally see it. They like, oh, maybe it might be something. So they go check it out for themselves. Then he say something wild like, drink my blood. They're like, what in the world is going on? So it's like, that's what people are dealing with, right? It's like, all right, I mean, this guy is special for sure, but I don't know if he's like cuckoo special or if he like the real deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the argument, that's the temperament of the country. So we'll continue to see that as we go through the Gospels and everything. We'll try to pick things out and kind of, you know, make teachable moments out of them. Any questions? All right, let's pray out.
That's kind of how we